Hey everyone, this is Eliana with Brands Are Alive. This video is for you if you want to get more clients without resorting to all the slimy and salesy tactics that are very common nowadays. And I'm actually going to tell you through two real-life examples. One person who was able to get the sale and the other person didn't, so it's my perspective as the buyer. I'm going to show you how being picky with the kind of clients you want to work with and doing what you love actually helps you close more clients and make more money. And I'm going to show it to you with real life examples from my perspective as the buyer. So one person, the one that didn't work out, was actually a pitch slap, right? So for those of you who don't know, a pitch slap is when somebody cold connects with you on LinkedIn and then they make you a sales pitch immediately after. Now that's not even the problem, honestly. Like in my case, I was like, I'm still gonna read it. I try to give those people the benefit of the doubt, read and see what they're trying to say. Sometimes people kind of just need it or they don't know any better at that stage in their career. And I wanna either say yes or no and at least give them some feedback. So I try to give him some feedback and I said, like, this is not gonna work for me. His offer was actually to create a, here's how it went. It was like, hey, Aliana, just curious, I'm not qualifying you or anything, just curious. Would you be interested in having a group of salespeople that will go out there and get your clients and close them and get you the money, and then they get paid basically commission only, so you never have to pay them until they get you the payment. But they take care of everything, finding clients, closing them, etc., etc. And I was like, look, this is a great offer for some people, but it's not going to work for me. And the reason is because I have what I call a heart-centered business. Is basically I can't just give a checklist to somebody to go out there and find a client. I need to know the people that I work with. And he was like, totally, I get it. I totally get it, Ariana, okay? But here's the thing, you can actually have more impact and you can resonate with the people that you, and he's just using these words a couple times, and it was sort of, I was laughing because I know what he's trying to do. And this is the problem with these like sales tactics where I guess the sales gurus will teach you that you have to put prospects in different profiles, and if a person talks about feelings just once, then that person's a feeler, and you talk to them about having an impact and resonating and all of that. And I a lot of times use these words, but I use them not in that sense. I mean, whatever. But the point is, if he had just tried to understand, like he could have asked me another question to understand the underlying reason why. It wasn't because I was trying to resonate and I want to have an impact. Yes, I do. But he jumped to that conclusion because he came with an idea, with a perception or a stereotype. And in his mind, he's approaching it in this mechanical way where it's like, if prospect says this, then you say this. If the prospect, it's like, no, just ask me a question. Try to seek to truly understand why I said that. Why can't I give a checklist to a bunch of people? Is it because I can't resonate with them otherwise? No, it's because if I'm going to give a salesperson a commission-based agreement, their incentive is in the wrong place. In my business, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, it doesn't make you a bad guy or anything. But for me, it's not going to work because you're going to go out there and you're going to try to get as many clients as possible for as much money as possible, close them as quickly as possible. And that's not what we want. I need somebody whose incentive is in the client's success, not in the client joining the program. And so it's not going to work. But he didn't try to understand, because the thing is, and the hardest thing about selling is and marketing in general, the hardest thing is not knowing what to do and how to do it. The hardest thing is to care while being unattached from the outcome. And the problem is, if you don't love what you do and you don't love the people that you serve, it's going to be really, really hard to care about understanding them and to care about understanding their problems and solving them. You're going to always try to find a shortcut because you don't enjoy this process. So this is why I keep talking about why it's so important. It's crucial to love what you do and who you do it for. Because if this guy really cared about me, I'm not saying he doesn't give a shit about me because he's such a terrible human being, but if he genuinely cared about my kind of problem and my profile as a person, not just finding a way to sell his program to whoever would buy, if he did that, then he would have the patience and the clarity of mind to actually have a conversation. Now, it's I have to move to the one that did work out for the sake of time to, but I could say a lot more about that. But here's the one that did work out. The one that did work out didn't even talk to me about getting more clients or anything, although that's kind of one of the benefits. But, it was a different offer, but it's not just the offer or anything. This guy, we never met in person, just like pretty much every single person who had ever closed me on a high ticket package. I can't think of anyone that I had first met in person. They were all people I met online, first of all. And he wasn't even somebody that I knew for years or decades or even several months. Not somebody that I talked to many times. Maybe we had one call before, one video call. We talked about something other than the weather, so it was genuine conversation. He started a real conversation, and maybe he was interested in selling me something eventually, but it was not the only intention in the relationship. He didn't start with that intention. There was genuine interest in understanding me and my situation and everything. And he cared about what he did and who he did it for. And so there was a relationship, and then there was a transaction within the relationship. It wasn't a relationship that was transactional, and that's a huge difference. So when the time came for the offer, when he created the offer, he knew how to sell it to me because he knew exactly what I needed. He was very straightforward, didn't beat around the bush. He was like, here's what I have, here's what it is, here's how much it is, here's how much time it takes. And he was offering it to a few people. Are you in? And I looked at it, I was like, okay, everything looks good. Let's jump on a call, answer a couple questions, tops 10 minutes. And that was it. I was like, listen, give me a couple days to get back to you. I had already decided I was gonna get it, but there was something else I needed to check. Let me check if that lines up with everything, and then we're good to go. And he was like, okay. A couple days later, I reach out, my card, we pay, done. That's it. No games, no manipulation, nothing. And it was a great experience for me. It's a great experience for him. And the difference is that his energy, it's not what he said or how he said it or what he did. It's not that he was I was joking to the mastermind the other day. I was like, the other guy was kind of trying to get the sequence of words right in order to unlock the wallet, right? If I say this in this way, the prospect is going to do this. It's very mechanical and comical, honestly, when you think about it. But the other guy was just being there. He was present. He was there. He's listening. We're having a normal conversation. And I'm sure he wanted the sale and he wanted the money just as much as the other guy. But he was not attached to the outcome because he understood it's not his job to sell me. The job is to help me make the buying decision. And that's a huge difference. When you're there just to answer the questions, you have confidence in your offer and who it is for, because you know the other person really will benefit from it because you took the time to understand them and you present it to them, and it's a good offer. People either want it or they don't, and sometimes they have a couple of questions and you answer them. No manipulation whatsoever, just a normal conversation, this and that, done, thank you, no pressure, and that's it. And it was a great experience. So, and the funny thing, if you think about it, one person was asking me for money for a 5-figure package and several weeks of my time and a lot of energy, and the other guy's like, you don't have to lift a finger. I will get you a whole team that will get you a bunch of clients for free. You don't have to pay us anything. So even though on paper one sounds better than the other or easier to sell than the other, the underlying difference is the intention and the approach. It's so important to do what you love and to work with people that you love, because only then you can give and give and give. You can create content that talks about the problem without ever worrying about whether or not it's going to materialize. Here's the thing about marketing and sales is we like to think that it's a linear process, right? We like to think that I'm going to put out this content or this piece of marketing and then move the person from this stage to this stage to this stage. And it doesn't work that way. It's not a linear process. And sometimes people go from stranger to buyer of high ticket item within weeks or months. Sometimes it takes them decades. Everybody is different. And it's not a linear A to B or A to Z process. But if you approach it like the second guy, basically if you think about it, the internet today has 5 billion users. If you only resonate, right, with not even 1%, but 0.1% of the world, that's still 5 million people to talk to, right? And not all of them are going to be your clients, of course. Maybe 1% of them are potential clients. That's still a lot. That's still 50,000 people. And if you only get 10% of sales, or 10% of these people to buy what you have to offer, you're still left with 5,000 people, and that's a lot. That's way too many clients for somebody to handle, at least at my stage, and probably your stage as well, unless you have a very well established business and you're no longer you're not in that growth period. You already have a marketing engine that's working out for you, and you probably already have teams and stuff that are taking care of your business. But if in the beginning, in the first few years of the what you're building, 5,000 clients is a lot especially when you're selling high ticket. Actually, you could be selling a $100 product, okay, and that's still $500,000 on autopilot. You don't have to do a thing after creating it, or anyway, not as much, right? But it's not necessarily a one-to-one kind of relationship or kind of offer. But good chance is, if you're talking to highly resonating people, like your exact ideal client, you're being super picky. You're picking the people that you really like working with, that resonate with you, have similar values to you, and you're selling them something they truly want, then you are solving a problem that's people will pay a lot more than $100 for that. Like, we're talking about high ticket items, then basically you have to really mess it up to avoid making millions of dollars. It takes more effort to avoid making millions every year when you're approaching it that way. And of course, that's not going to happen overnight. That's probably going to take a little bit of time to build a business, of that size. But it is certainly a lot better than doing cold pitches to people and hoping that one of them bites. And what trips people over is they think that it's working because sometimes it works. So if you do that 100 times, one person is going to bite, and you think, see, it works, like, it's great. But the truth is, it really doesn't, because getting the sale is not enough. You really need the person to have the promise. You have to be able to deliver it. That's how you build a proper business. You need the person to be so happy that they themselves want to buy again and again from you and tell other people about you, right? Otherwise, you're going to be stuck advertising to strangers all the time and hoping that the ones that were screwed over are not going to talk about it. And I'm assuming here that you care, because you're watching this. You're probably not the type of person who would do stuff like that, even if you could get away with it. But I'm just saying that it's a stupid way of approaching business. It's a silly way of approaching business, truly, and it only works in the short term. It never works in the long run. So the point is this: be whoever you need to be, speak whichever way you want to speak, but it's not about saying certain things, not about following a certain script. It's not about looking cool and collected. Like, this guy had his notes and he was stuttering a couple times. It's not about any of that stuff. It's not about looking like you have it all figured out. It's not about creating such an irresistible way of saying the exact words. It's about none of that. It's about really what it takes to actually sell. It's really simple. It's not easy, but here's all you need to get the sale. You need to identify the problem that you're solving, a painful problem, hopefully, or a big desire for people. You need to know how to solve it, or how to help them get the desired thing. You need to educate them or create content that educates on the problem. Here is the issue. Here's why you need to fix it. Here are the benefits of fixing it. Because sometimes the problem is not obvious, right? Sometimes people don't know what's going on. And explain to them the benefits of having it. And then you need to explain to them how your product or service, your offer, is the obvious solution to this. And that's basically explaining how you do it and the benefits and what sets you apart and all of that. Obviously, I'm oversimplifying business here, but basically those are the only things that a person just needs to understand. I have a problem or a desire. You are going to help me get that. You're going to do it in a way that works for me, at a price that works for me, at a time that works for me. And you are the best option of all the options out there, or the only option. Okay, I'm in, right? If I want to solve this problem or get this thing, we're going to work together. It's that simple. And when you understand that, you understand that all sorts of people have all sorts of problems. And so you don't need to limit yourself to a specific group or a specific way. So you don't have to do things the way you've been told to. You don't have to do a cold pitch. You don't have to slide into people's DMs. You don't have to, you know, create FOMO and false scarcity. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You don't have to do it. All you have to do is understand what the problem is, or, you know, what is it that they want and need and desire, and you know, and understand why. Like, be genuinely interested in helping them out. And this is why it's so important that you pick stuff that you're genuinely interested in, because then you can have a relationship with the person. You can talk to them without attachment. You're already enjoying talking to them. You're enjoying talking about the thing that you are talking to them about. And then from that point, you know, it's up to them if they want to take it or not take it. But you're not attached, because you trust that the right person will come in, will be there, will be, you know, will really want and need what you have to offer. So don't try to go too wide, just go deep with a few people. Hopefully this helps. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.